It is warm. Good morning, and thank you all for being here today. Let me just start off, as I think everybody knows, the COVID-19 pandemic has been one of the biggest challenges that this region, health challenges that we have faced in a century. But I will tell you, our San Diego region has shown that we can overcome and weather this difficult time by doing what we do best, which is working together. Nowhere is that more evident than in the actions that we've taken to protect our homeless population. And when we heard of the risk of the virus and what it posed to vulnerable populations, the city, the county, the Regional Task Force on the Homelessness, and the San Diego Housing Commission devised a plan to keep folks healthy and safe using our San Diego Convention Center. We call it Operation Shelter to Home, and I think the name says it all. We set out to provide a safe, sanitary place for folks to shelter, including those who are already in our shelters, not only for them, but also for hundreds of folks who are living on the streets. And once inside, we have connected them to services and case managers to begin to stabilize their lives. And we paired them with a housing navigator to find them a permanent home. And if there's been any silver lining during this pandemic, it has been some of the fantastic work that is happening right inside this building, to getting people back on their feet, matching them with resources, and getting them a place of their own. And our goal from the very beginning was to reimagine our homeless system to get folks into housing more quickly, with an emphasis on quickly. The navigation teams from the Housing Commission, the RTFH, and our providers, I can tell you, have done truly amazing work. In fact, more than 700 people have been housed in just 6 months, doubling the success rate from our bridge shelter program. And we have another 300 individuals in the pipeline, matched with resources to get that place of their own. It's incredible positive news. But I think the most important part is that we are just getting started. The next phase of Operation Shelter to Home is focused on creating more homes, permanent homes, for hundreds more. And one of the greatest housing needs for folks at the convention center is for those who require specialized care, folks who with a little support can be successful in an apartment of their own. And the City and the Housing Commission began looking to purchase hotels in March to fill this need. Units with full kitchens that can rapidly be converted to permanent housing. And we began this work ahead of the state making available over $500 million to support this type of acquisition, of which San Diego was awarded $37.7 million. And through all of us working together, the city, the county, Supervisor Fletcher, the county also have just approved $5.4 million to ensure that when those units open, they will have the services in place to support the people that are staying there. That's exactly what we're doing here today. Tomorrow, the City Council will have the opportunity to put these dollars to good use and approve the purchase of 2 fully vetted hotels that will be transformed into 332 new housing units. And these properties will pave the way for over 400 additional folks who have been stabilized through Operation Shelter to Home to get a place of their own. We're moving quickly, but we've also done the due diligence to bring these proposals forward and have these units ready by December. This region, our city, our county, the Housing Commission, RTFH, have worked strategically and in lockstep throughout this entire pandemic. And by converting these hotels into housing and continuing to navigate folks into other housing, our region will continue to lead the state on solutions to reduce homelessness. I urge my colleagues on the City Council to keep this momentum going. And before President and CEO of the Housing Commission, Rick Gentry, goes into the details on these projects, I'd like to take a moment to recognize Rick and the entire Housing Commission for their tireless efforts to really have helped with provide housing navigation for hundreds of our shelter clients, streamline how our folks across housing resources, and vet and prepare these two acquisitions to bring forward and increase our housing stock. Thank you, Rick. Thank you and the entire team. Now if you can share a little bit about tomorrow's item first, and then I'll introduce our council president and council member Ward. Rick Gentry.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mayor Faulkner. The proposal that the San Diego Housing Commission will be presenting to the City Council tomorrow is a game-changing opportunity. We will be able to quickly provide permanent housing, rental homes to as many as 400 people who have experienced homelessness. And as the mayor said, this is especially important as the COVID-19 pandemic continues. The San Diego Housing Commission began working with the mayor's office back in March to find this type of solution. I will point out that we went through 29 hotel properties to arrive at the two properties that we have selected for council consideration tomorrow. Both these hotels are in good condition with very minor work needed to make them ready for move-in right away. In addition, these units are fully furnished with good quality furniture also ready for move-in right away. In addition, the residents who will live in these properties will have access to the on-site supportive services that they need to strengthen their quality of life and provide long-term stability. The Housing Commission will contract with Father Joe's Villages and People Assisting the Homeless, or PATH, to provide these services at the two properties. These are both experienced service providers who are well known for their work in San Diego. I'll point out that the San Diego Housing Commission has a track record of success with this type of project going back about 10 years. We have transformed other hotels into permanent housing at other locations. And I'd like at this point to give particular thanks to three different sets of people. The first is in particular to Mayor Faulkner and his staff and the leadership in the 11th floor at City Hall. And Mayor Faulkner thought of this as an idea and pulled us all together before the state came up with the idea as a particular program. That gave the Housing Commission plenty of time to go through process to locate good quality properties, and it had not been for the mayor's leadership, would not have likely have happened. The second set of people who deserve a lot of recognition and thanks for this are those who provided good teamwork and support. In particular, the board of the San Diego Housing Commission and the City Council of San Diego, under the leadership of Council President Gomez, and in particular, Council Member Chris Ward, who is also chair of the Regional Task Force on the Homeless, who has provided particular leadership in the city over the last 4 years in homelessness endeavors. And finally, my thanks go out to the staff and council of the Housing Commission, who provided great technical expertise and competence in getting this done the right way. Three individuals I'd like to point out in particular, and those are Chief of Staff Jeff Davis, Head of our Homelessness Programs Lisa Jones, and also our Lead General Counsel Chuck Christensen, who together have provided great leadership in getting this done and getting it done right. We're presenting what we believe are a good package of two proposals to the council tomorrow, and we look forward to engaging with the community after that. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Rick. Thank you, Rick. Thank you for all of your hard work. Thank you for your positive comments for the team effort that this has been and continues to be. Next, please welcome our City Council President, Georgia Gomez, who's been a staunch advocate for affordable housing and incredibly supportive of the life-changing work that's happening here inside the Convention Center. Council President.
Thank you, and thank you, Mayor, for the introduction. I'd like to start by recognizing, as stated before by the Mayor, the San Diego Housing Commission, Rick Gentry, and your whole team for everything you've been doing around affordable housing during this crisis, and also helping our residents who are unsheltered obtain stable housing. I'm proud to be here this morning and acknowledge and celebrate the Housing Commission newest project, the purchase of 2 motels and converting them to badly needed permanent supportive housing. The Housing Commission did a great job on doing its due diligence and more than 24 hotels that were potentially available for purchasing. I really appreciate that. And I believe the hotels you have chosen will be excellent addition to our growing menu of options to tackle the humanitarian crisis that we are facing in our city. The solution to this problem is pretty simple. More homes, along with supportive services that will help clients remain housed. Those hotels will provide homes to potentially more than 400 people who will be able to live their lives with dignity and security, with the solid foundation that homes provides to successful comfort to live through the challenges in life. That is what Housing First is all about. This pandemic has taken a terrible toll in so many people, but one thing that is for sure to come. This project to shelter to home is something that is very successful and we should be proud of. We are moving quickly to make our most vulnerable neighbors safer. We create an excellent model for efficient moving unsheltered residents off the streets and into housing. The purchase of these motels is making a piece, it's a solution, it's a piece to the puzzle to resolve this issue. October is an exciting time. This month, we are moving forward on a number of fronts in our efforts to preserve and create more affordable housing, and there's yet more to come soon. This month, we'll be sharing more about those efforts. For now, thank you to the mayor, to the Housing Commission, to my colleagues, Councilmember Chris Ward, and to everyone that has helped today and tomorrow be possible. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Council President Gomez. Next, of course, we have Councilmember Chris Ward, who's been a great partner on this effort from the very, very beginning, and of course, a leading voice of support at the council and as his role as chair of the Regional Task Force for the Homeless. Councilmember?
Great. Well, thank you, Mr. Mayor and Council President Gomez and Rick, and I want to welcome everybody. Good morning. My name is Chris Ward. In addition to being the council member for District 3, which represents downtown and other great neighborhoods here in the Mid-City, I am also the immediate past chair of the Regional Task Force on the Homeless. We've worked foremost to prevent and alleviate homelessness across San Diego County. Our team focuses on homeless policy and acts as the lead coordinator for the introduction of new models of implementation of best practices across the San Diego region, which is exactly why we are all here this morning. The news that we are on the cusp of securing housing for up to 400 individuals and families means that they will finally have a permanent home. They won't fall through the system cracks, they won't have to wait for housing any longer, and they won't have to return to homelessness. In my time on the City Council, I've advocated for a multitude of strategies to address and end homelessness for individuals and families. And it takes that complement of solutions because the range of needs is so wide. Access to shelter and placement into permanent housing is the ultimate way to keep people safe. Without it, individuals and families face far greater risks, including health risks. For those experiencing chronic homelessness with their layered challenges, permanent supportive housing is the proven model, and converting distressed hotel properties into new supportive residential communities is something that I've been advocating for since 2017. As dollars and opportunity sites are found, thanks in large part to our Housing Commission staffs, their keen eye and their recommendations, we've had some progress. But today, with the collaborative effort from the city, the county, the RTFH, the Housing Commission, and two key supportive housing providers, we are making a big step using one-time state funds that need to be used this year for those who have been here receiving care at the convention center. I am urging all of our colleagues on the San Diego City Council, which is our housing authority, to approve the purchase of these two hotels that will provide more than 330 affordable rental housing units for San Diegans experiencing homelessness. The purchase of these hotels is a testament to our commitment to following best practices to protect the most vulnerable among us in a global pandemic, and that's exactly what the state's Project Home Key program was intended for. And San Diego stepped up and was ready thanks in large part because of the city and the Housing Commission staff for the work that they've done to secure funding for these properties so that San Diego would not have lost out on those same dollars to other regions across the state. And this motivates us to do more. With a solution to exponentially grow this progress sitting in the mailboxes or dining room of every table in San Diego, I would be remiss not to ask voters and remind them to consider voting yes on Measure A. It's a modest measure with a huge impact. We are happy and humbled to know that starting tomorrow, another 400 individuals and families will soon have a permanent home and end their homelessness. Measure A would have an impact over 20 times what this decision tomorrow would be able to do, and will make a real difference in the short term to be able to address the challenges that we still have on our streets. I want to thank everybody involved for this, and I'm ready to get to work to do more. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you, Councilmember Ward. Thank you all for joining us. We've made and will continue to make significant progress through Operation Shelter to Home, and these new units will take it to the next level and, most importantly, help those in need. Thank you all for coming. I'll be happy to answer any questions one-on-one. Thank you. Thank you.